This is a true story. A convicted felon was placed in an electric chair to be executed. He was electrocuted and died in flames. The incident quickly spread among the prisoners at Mecklenburg Prison in the US. 6 inmates realized that they might one day be strapped to this same chair themselves. Scenes from horror movies played repeatedly in their minds, constantly haunting them. An overwhelming sense of fear drove them to hatch an escape plan. After over a year of meticulous planning, a notorious killer decided to execute the escape plan on May 31, 1984. On that day, after playing basketball, they were escorted back to their cells by 2 guards. As soon as the iron door opened, 2 of them pretended to have a verbal altercation and started wrestling. They successfully drew the guards' attention. In the ensuing chaos, Clanton quietly hid inside the bathroom. After the guards quelled the fight, they didn't notice anyone missing. At around 8 p.m. that night, a guard on duty needed to use the bathroom. He tried opening the bathroom door, only to find that the lock was broken. Since this bathroom door often malfunctioned, it had become a common occurrence. But in reality, the lock wasn't broken. It was Clanton, hiding inside, who firmly held onto the doorknob. According to regulations, if a problem was discovered, it should be reported immediately for repair. But nature calls urgently, so he decided to go to the restroom outside first. To relieve himself, one prisoner waited deliberately until only one guard was present in the cell block. He knocked on the control room window and asked the guard to help deliver a book to a fellow inmate in block 2. Such requests were very common in the prison. The guard didn't suspect anything and left the control room. When leaving the control room, the guards had a bad habit. They believed there was another door ahead, which could hold the prisoners back. For convenience, the guards usually just loosely closed the control room door. This oversight had long been observed by the prisoners. Thus, it became a key point in their breakout plan. When the guard came to pick up the book, the prisoner said, "Thank you." This "thank you" was also the action signal sent to Clanton. Clanton, hiding in the bathroom, immediately ran out, then rushed into the control room and opened the door to cell 1. After the cell door opened, the prisoners immediately rushed out and subdued the guard. They took off the guard's uniform, tied his hands, and gagged him. When another guard returned from using the restroom, he was also overpowered. After both guards were under control, they proceeded to the next step of their plan, seizing the main control room. The prisoners forced them to call nearby guards, intending to lure them one by one. Then, using the method of waiting patiently, they successfully eliminated all obstacles within the cell block. They then forced a management-level warning officer to call the on-duty personnel in the main control room, claiming that 2 colleagues would come to relieve him shortly. Subsequently, 2 prisoners dressed as warning officers headed to the main control room. Only one person was on duty in the main control room. Seeing the 2 fake warning officers from afar, he didn't suspect anything and opened the door. When the 2 fake guards approached the on-duty personnel, he realized these faces were unfamiliar. But it was too late. The on-duty personnel were quickly subdued by the 2 prisoners. Next, they considered how to escape through the prison gate. The gate security was extremely strict. Gatekeepers worked with sentries. Even if they subdued the gatekeeper, 6 people walking out would surely arouse suspicion from the sentries. However, nothing could stop them. The convicts forced the warning officer to call the gatekeeper, falsely claiming they had found a bomb in the warehouse. They needed to transport it out urgently, or it might explode at any time, because someone had recently reported finding someone making bombs in the cell block. However, after a thorough search by the warning officers, nothing suspicious was found. But the seed of fear about bombs had been planted in everyone's mind. Coupled with hearing the panicked tone of the warning officer, the gatekeeper believed their lie and opened the gate, arranging a vehicle for them. The 6 of them changed into bomb disposal suits from the warehouse. 2 of them carried an unboxed TV set, pretending it was a bomb, and moved it out. Another 2 ran while shouting not to get close. "There's a bomb here." The other 2 followed along with fire extinguishers. Just like that, they deceived everyone and successfully drove out of the prison gate. But their freedom was short-lived. After escaping, due to poor planning for life after prison, their intelligence plummeted. They drove dozens of kilometers and eventually split up due to disagreements, each going their own way. Several hours later, Clanton and Peterson didn't even change out of their escape clothes, casually eating cheese at a laundromat when they were caught. Today continued fleeing, stealing cars and robbing. He was captured on June 8 while robbing a store. Jones fled to the forest and was starving. Mosquito bites led to an emotional breakdown. On June 9, he chose to surrender. The brothers Lee Wood and James were tracked down by the police when their relatives mentioned their whereabouts during a phone call. So, on the 19th, the 2 of them were captured while having a party with a group of people in a garage. Actually, the mastermind behind this plan was another prisoner who didn't escape. His name was Dennis Stockton. He originally planned to escape with the 6 others. But because his case was still under appeal, his lawyer told him there was a good chance of a reduced sentence, so he decided to stay in prison. However, he lost the appeal later. In the end, all 7 were sentenced to death. 6 of them ended up being part of a movie.